Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the mid-year check-in tag, which was created by Harriet Rosie. I will link the original video and Harriet's video for this year in the description. We are now in July, so we are over the halfway point in the year even. And so it feels like a good time to kind of check in and see where I am with my reading. I'm going to do a kind of chatty check-in video for the intentions that I set at the start of the year to kind of catch you up on where I am with those. But I saw Harriet do this tag, thought it was really fun. I've seen loads of people do the mid-year freakout tag, but to be honest, I think I prefer the questions on this tag, so I thought I would give it a go. So, question 1 is, how many books have you read so far this year? It is the 4th of July today, and I have read 80 books so far, 80, which is amazing. For me, that's incredible. I finished the year on 85 books last year, was really happy with that, set my target at 100 for this year. I'm already at 80. So unless something drastic happens, I will be reaching that goal, which will be great. I've decided not to increase my goal and just to see where I get by the end of the year. So yeah, 80 books so far, absolutely smashing it. Really enjoying my reading so far. I've been very relaxed really about reading and just really enjoying it. And I think I'm getting a lot better at choosing books. I've not DNF'd anywhere near as much this year as I did last year, and I'm just having a lovely time. So yeah, 80 books. Question 2 is, what's your favourite book so far this year? And this is such a hard question. When I saw Harriet's video and this question came up, it was like, oh no. Because I've read some absolute corkers this year. I haven't looked at, I don't really keep track of my stats. I probably should, it'd be quite interesting, I think. But I think the majority of the books I've read so far this year have been 4 or 5 stars. But the first book that came to mind, and I just thought I will go with that because that's my first instinct, is The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter. Now, I've talked about this book loads, so you can go and find my wrap up for when I read this book. I think it was like March or April time. It's not for the faint-hearted. Karen Slaughter is very graphic. There are trigger warnings for probably most things going. It's violent, it's gory, there is sexual assault and rape, there is gun violence. You have to be a fairly experienced thriller reader to read Karen Slaughter, I think, because it is not for the faint-hearted. However, what it also is fantastic. The characters I felt so connected to. It's massive, it's over 500 pages, is it? Nearer 600? It's like 550 pages. It's a big chunker of a book. Also, great cover, I love this edition. But I didn't notice, I think I read it in 2 days because I just couldn't put it down. I've read 3 Karen Slaughters now. The first one I was really underwhelmed by, but that's part of a series which I didn't realise when I picked it up, which I think is probably part of the problem. I've also read another standalone of hers, which I did also really enjoy, but this for me, there was just something about it that just put it on another level, and I would highly recommend it. I've literally made pretty much everyone I've met since I read it read it, who are thriller readers, and yeah, it's been my favourite book so far this year. It's definitely going to be in my top 10 of the year. So yeah, would highly recommend if you can deal with the Karen Slaughter graphicness. Next question is, what's the most disappointing book you've read so far this year? I really like this question because disappointing book could mean a lot of things. For me, this book was disappointing because it's the second in a series. I absolutely loved the first in the series, and this just didn't live up to it. That book is The Roses of May by Dot Hutchinson. I read The Butterfly Garden, which is the first book, I think at the end of last year. I was really excited to pick up the second one, and I was really disappointed. It is a really nice edition. They all come in these kind of like beautiful, they're like tall paperbacks, so they're quite tall and thin. Great cover as well. But I just found it really disappointing. Again, it's in one of my wrap-ups somewhere. I think I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. The first book I gave 4 or 5 out of 5 stars. It follows on from the first book. So the first book is about a serial killer called the Gardener who kidnaps girls and keeps them and tries to turn them into butterflies. This follows some of the girls from the first story, but we're also following a different girl whose sister was killed by a serial killer, and she's hunting the serial killer. So you've kind of got these two stories, two separate stories. They are connected because both sets of girls are being looked after by the same group of policemen. But I just felt like this was trying to do too many things, and so you don't really get any follow-up from the first book. You don't also really get under the skin of the girl whose sister has been killed. It just felt really messy, and I was really aware that I was reading, and I hate that with books where you know you're reading. I just want to be swept away, and this just didn't hit the mark for me. I have just done my wrap-up, which you will have seen a couple of weeks ago, which included the third book, which is called The Summer Children, and I really love that. That was like back up to the level of the first book, but this just for me was just a real disappointment and a bit of a letdown. Next question is, what genre have you read most this year? And one of the things that I really like about my reading so far this year is that I've had a really good range of genres. So I've been reading one classic and one non-fiction a month, because there were two genres that I just never read and I didn't read any of last year, so I have corrected that and I've been really enjoying that, and I will talk about more about that in my kind of catch-up video. I've also been reading a lot more YA this year, although mostly on audiobook. I've been listening to quite a bit of that, which I found is a really good way of reading it. But I think probably overall thrillers are kind of my staple. They're what I read the most in general, and they're what I enjoy the most. So yeah, I would go with thrillers. Next question, question 5. Name a new favourite author that you've discovered this year. So having said that thrillers are my favourite, actually my new favourite author from this year is Holly Bourne. I read Am I Normal Yet? For Mental Health On in May. I then read the second one, which I've also got down here somewhere. Where are you? There we go. How Hard Can Love Be? In June, and this month in July, Nicole from Beautiful Chaos of Books and I are going to be buddy reading the third one, which I think is called What's a Girl Gotta Do, but my memory's horrible. I'm pretty sure that's it. So I'd never read any Holly Bourne. The only reason I picked this book up was because it was Nicole's host pick for Mental Health On, and it was her readathon, so I thought, I'm going to read her host pick, which was this. I had zero expectation. I've seen these books around, and I have to admit there was a bit of like book snobbery at play, because I just thought, oh, they're just going to be like fluffy YA, like teen fluff, you know, nothing important. I'm too old for it. I'm not really interested. Then I read this one, which follows a girl who has got OCD, Evie. She has OCD and anxiety, and I sobbed my heart out because I could see myself in fiction. And I don't have OCD, but I do have anxiety, and I've never seen it represented so well in a book. And it was that feeling of like, God, I wish I'd had this at 15, because I would have understood myself so much better. And as it was, it took me like another decade to work out what I was dealing with. And I just adore it. And not only has it got great mental health representation, there is also great feminism in here. And I suspect that actually for some teens, it will be their first introduction to that as a positive thing. So yeah, she is my new favourite author. I've read 2 so far. I've got one more left of the Spinster trilogy, and then there's also a novella I think called Happy New Year, which I think is set a couple of years later, and it's like a reunion. And then she's also written an adult book which is called How Do You Like Me Now? So I will definitely be getting those and looking out for anything else that she brings out, because I am in love with her. Right, question 6 are we up to? Yes. What's the most surprisingly good book you've read so far this year? I've just answered that. It's this one. Like I said, I had no expectations and it blew me away. Really surprised me in such a good way. So yeah, my answer is, Am I Normal Yet? Number 7. What are your favourite and most anticipated 2019 releases? There is only one that I am borderline freaking out about, which is The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. It's coming out in September. I think it's out like 9th or 10th of September. I've pre-ordered it. I never pre-order books because I'm never usually that bothered, or I'm going to wait for the paperback. I cannot wait for this book to come out. It is a follow-up to The Handmaid's Tale. All we know is that it's set 15 years after the end of The Handmaid's Tale. And yeah, I full-on freaked out when I saw it on Twitter. And I never react like that. The Handmaid's Tale, like I said before, is my favourite book. Margaret Atwood is one of my favourite authors. Next year I'm actually planning to reread all of her backlist of fiction anyway, because she's written so much. It would take me 5 years to read everything she's written, but I want to reread her novels next year. The Handmaid's Tale is my favourite. I have pre-ordered The Testaments. I have also marked out that entire weekend in my calendar as do not book anything, because all I want to do that weekend is read that book. 1, because I will be desperate to know what happens. 2, I do not want spoilers. I won't be online that weekend at all, because it would just be like, I will literally be hands over my ears, like, do not talk to me. I don't want to hear any spoilers. I'll probably also vlog it as well, so you guys can see what I think. And I'm a mix of terrified that it'll be rubbish and really excited because I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome. So wish me luck with that, because yeah, I am a little bit scared because The Handmaid's Tale is really important to me and I really hope she hasn't messed it up. Also, it's Margaret Atwood, so I'm sure it'll be fine, but yeah, scary times. Next, what is question 8? What's your next big priority for your reading? Just to keep up with my 2019 intentions. Like I said, I've got a video coming for that in a couple of weeks. But I just want to keep doing what I've been doing, which is enjoying my reading. Reading 1 classic and 1 non-fiction a month has been working really well because it gives a bit of balance to my reading. I've also been rereading 1 book a month as well, which I've been really enjoying, so I will continue to do that. Yeah, I just kind of keep going as I am. Like I said, I've got a lot better at choosing books. I've hardly DNF'd. I think I've DNF'd like 3 or 4 books this year, which for me, that's low. And yeah, just keep doing what I'm doing. Question 9, what's been your bookish highlight of the year so far? Is it really cheesy if I say Booktube? I'm going to say Booktube because it's true. I just have absolutely adored it. So I started technically in October of last year, but I feel like I really got into the community from like February onwards this year, and I'm just having the absolute best time. Nicole mentioned in a recent video about Booktube being cliquey, and it definitely is. But what I like about the group of people I found is that we're like an anti-clique. So we all like comment on each other's videos, and there's been a bit of collabing going on, and we chat on Twitter and Bookstagram, but it's not like in your face every day. I don't really cope very well with that kind of intense friendship. I just like it if there are people that kind of check on me from time to time and I keep an eye on, and we all just kind of quietly back each other. And yeah, that I've really found that. There's probably a group of like maybe 6 or 7 people. I'm not gonna like name them because if they don't feel the same way, then that's going to be super embarrassing. But I'm really enjoying that. And also, by the time this video comes up, you will have seen my Thriller-a-thon announcement. I still can't believe that Harriet asked me to be a co-host for that. I'm really excited about it. As I'm filming this, it's still a few weeks away. And I'm equal parts excited and terrified for that. But I just know it's going to be a highlight of the year for me, for sure. And it all just feeds into my reading, and I really think Booktube is the reason why my reading is going so well this year, because I'm just constantly surrounded by other people who love books, and I'm also being creative myself by making these videos, which makes me want to read more so I can chat to you guys about it. It's just this great cycle, and it's all a bit mushy really, isn't it? But yeah, Booktube is my bookish highlight of the year, for sure. And then the last question, question 10, who do you tag? Now, this is difficult because I am pre-filming this, as I have to do with most of my content. So I'm not sure who might have done it by now, or who's done the mid-year freakout tag and so might not want to do it, but we're going to ignore that. And I'm going to tag 3 lovely ladies. The first one is Gloria from the Neverending TBR. I love her channel name. She's such a sweet person as well, and she puts up these really creative and fun and like cute videos, but I also just freaking love her channel name. The second person is Laura from What Everyone Else Is Reading. Again, another great channel name. I really enjoy her content. We don't really cross over that much. She reads quite a few thrillers, but I just really like the way that she talks about books, and I always enjoy her videos. They tend to be quite calming. She's got quite a quiet, chilled style, and that's really nice sometimes just to have a quiet video. Yeah, I find it very calming. So yeah, I'm tagging her. And then the third person I'm going to tag is Kath from Strange the Reader. Again, another cracking channel name. I've talked about her before. We're friends. We've been like online friends for quite a few years now. She was the person that kind of got me into doing Booktube. And again, I just really like her style. She's got a real relaxed way of doing Booktube. yeah, and I would be really interested to see what they will think and what their answers are to these questions. I'm also doing a general tag, so if you want to do this video and I haven't directly tagged you, you can say I tagged you, that's totally cool. If you do the video, then please leave me a link below so I can find it and watch it. And I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!